Most people believe being kind is the ultimate virtue. They think the more they give, the more they are valued. But psychology reveals a darker truth. There is a profound difference between being kind and being too nice. One comes from a place of strength, the other comes from a place of fear. When you are too nice, you aren't being virtuous, you're being predictable. And in the world of human social dynamics, being predictable makes you an easy target. In psychology, there is a concept called cognitive value attribution. We value what is rare and difficult to obtain. When you are too nice, you make your time, your help, and your agreement a commodity. If you always say yes, your yes eventually loses its value. It becomes the default setting. People stop seeing your help as a gift and start seeing it as an obligation. You aren't being appreciated, you're being managed. You have trained people to expect your sacrifice without offering anything in return. Your boundaries are invisible until you enforce them. When you are too nice, you signal to the world that your limits are flexible. Psychology calls this boundary erosion. It starts small, a colleague asking for a favor at 5 p.m., a friend canceling plans last minute. Because you don't push back, their brain registers that your boundaries don't actually exist. By the time you finally decide to stand up for yourself, people will react with anger. Not because you're being mean, but because you're breaking the contract of compliance you unknowingly signed. The most dangerous part of being too nice is what happens inside of you. You say yes when every part of your brain is screaming no. You think you're being helpful, but internally you're building a prison of resentment. This is inauthentic generosity. You are giving because you're afraid of the conflict that comes with saying no. Eventually, that resentment will boil over. It leads to passive-aggressive behavior, emotional burnout, or sudden outbursts that confuse everyone around you. You are destroying your mental health to keep a fake peace. Predatory personalities have a radar for the too nice. They don't see your kindness as a sign of a good heart, they see it as a lack of a backbone. By refusing to be disagreeable, you filter out healthy, high-value people who respect boundaries, and you move to the top of the list for those who thrive on manipulation. A person who can never say no is a magnet for those who always want to take. You aren't building a circle of friends, you're building a circle of takers. Respect is not given to those who are nice, it is given to those who are just. There is a significant difference. A nice person agrees to avoid tension. A just person speaks the truth, even if it creates tension. People do not respect those they can walk over. They might like you, they might find you useful, but they will never respect you. In any social hierarchy, the person who is most willing to walk away or say this is unacceptable is the one who holds the power. When your primary goal is to be liked by everyone, you lose the ability to be yourself. You become a mirror of other people's needs and expectations. You stop making decisions based on your values and start making them based on what will cause the least amount of friction. Eventually, your own goals, desires, and identity fade into the background. You become a shadow, and the world has no use for a shadow. The cure for being too nice is not being mean. It is being assertive. Assertiveness is the ability to communicate your needs and boundaries clearly and calmly. It means understanding that your time and energy are limited resources. Stop apologizing for things that aren't your fault. Stop over-explaining your no. And most importantly, stop fearing the silence that follows a boundary. Conflict is not the end of a relationship, it is the test of one. If someone leaves because you finally said no, they didn't belong there in the first place. You don't need to be liked by everyone. You need to be respected by yourself. Choose kindness, reject niceness, stand still. If this insight resonated with you, it means you're ready to reclaim your power. Comment respect below if you're done being the doormat. Subscribe for more unfiltered psychology. Stay strong, stay silent, stay powerful.